Good night and welcome back to the channel. So I got a chance to work on a Lenovo ideapad 330. It's one of those laptops like the one that you see here in the background. That it appeared, well, the operating system was not booting. And so I want to explain today what I did in order to get the operating system up and booted. Now it's one of those situations where as soon as I saw it, it came to my mind that it was the hard drive. So what I did was that I loosed down the laptop. I took out the hard drive, ensure first that you can actually get data from the drive in case the client wants the data backed up. And I connected the drive to an external source for testing, and I'll show that in the video. I used a hard drive scanner that I downloaded off the internet that works well, and it gave me a CRC error which pointed to the fact that the hard drive was not being accessed at some time, which was weird. So I thought that the hard drive was actually gone, but the CRC, I think I'm saying it right, the CRC error simply says that the motherboard is not communicating with the hard drive. But any which way, I got a new hard drive to ensure, because I wanted to speed the process along. I got a new hard drive in and I placed it in the laptop, and it did the same thing. So I was wondering, I said, you know what, something is wrong. It could be the hard drive, it could be the hard drive driver on the motherboard, which meant then that you would have to change the entire motherboard. So I played around with it a little. I went into the BIOS and decided I'd look at some of the changes. One of the changes that you normally would make is to change it from the secure boot to a legacy boot and see if that worked, and that still did not work. But there was an option, and I stopped filming at the same time, but there's an option on the security boot, and I'll just show where it's located in the video, that you guys will have to disable in order to get it work. Now I don't know if it's a problem with the Lenovo with the Lenovo ideapad 330 only, but it seems like the computer or the laptop manages the boot sector on the hard drive, and therefore something was wrong with that, that it gave the logo for the Lenovo as continuously spins without loading the operating system. So I had to disable a portion, and you'll see that in the video, from within the BIOS in order for me to get it working. I placed in back the hard drive that was there, and it started working. I'm still thinking that maybe the hard drive had an error that was there, but again the scans don't show it. So I hope this video will help you in analyzing your problem when it comes to the Lenovo ideapad not booting. So check it out, let me know what you think. Alright, so I have this software that I downloaded to test my hard drive. So I plugged that in via a external bay, and I downloaded a hard drive scanner from harddrivescan.com that allows me to test drives to see what's wrong with them. So I would install that, and I have it installed already, and I would run it as administrator, and that is picking up the drive that I have. And let me show you that I have it plugged into an external bay there that is plugged into USB 3.0, right? So I can then try to access it to see what's wrong. Now if you're lucky, it gives you a chance to back up your data, which is fine, right? And because I'm able to see that there's data, it means that something else is wrong with the hard drive, and this will give us that report. So I will select my drive, which is this new Seagate, yeah, and I will just do a smart test for it now. You can have an extensive test, or you can do just a smart test to kind of give you an idea of what is wrong. So everything looks fine. Oh, there we go. So there's an error there on Ultra DMA CRC error, whatever that means. Let's check it out. So CRC errors are caused by bad sectors or because the drive is not communicating with the computer. So definitely there's a fault in the drive, indicate a problem with the transfer of data between host and disk. They can't be caused by software. That is key. and it also say they don't indicate a problem with the disk itself, right? So, but best guess is that what is causing that error is simply because of a communication issue with the drive itself. Some people might say maybe you could reinstall, and I'm thinking that even if I do a reinstall on the drive, it doesn't necessarily means that it will hold up. I think we might have the problem again. When I know when a drive falls because of the G-Shock free fall event count, where the drive automatically locks itself up in the event of a fall, and this is not indicating anything of that, right? And so the only error I'm seeing is the Ultra CRC error. So we'll get the drive replaced, install the operating system, and get that going again. That way we don't have to worry about having a faulty hard drive again in our system. And again, the upgrade I'm recommending is that they put in a solid state drive, which will help to alleviate any future issue. So for some reason the Windows just would not load. So the fix for this is to actually use, I think it's your F1, F2, or F3 key, some one of these, to get into the BIOS setup, and you need to change some of the security measures that are in there. So let me see if we can get that done. Once you're in the BIOS, after pressing one of those function keys, the F1, the F2, or the F3 key, you want to go to security, and I disabled this software control. I have that, it was enabled first, so this is how it looks, enabled with software controls. So I actually had to disable that, and there was another setting which I'm not seeing now that allowed you to set it back into setup mode. So you will need to also look for that. I placed it to legacy support and legacy first, but the key was, and I didn't record that section, was to change the security here to go back into setup mode, right, which I'm not seeing now. So that's kind of the setup I have, but the key again was to go back into setup mode under the security tab. So do look for that if that's an option there, and there should be some other settings under the SGX. Good. So I hope you found this video useful in terms of repairing the Lenovo IdeaPad 330 in terms of its startup issue that it might have. And we noticed again that you can run a hard drive test or hard drive scan. I'm sure if I do a longer read-write scan, that it will give me an indication of what's wrong, right, with the longer test. But that is what it takes to get this machine up and running again, replacement of the drive. I hope this helps. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I put up new videos. And like always guys, go geek yourself.